What's going on, guys? Welcome back to our top 10 strongest no legendary series. Today, we're going to go after the rock typing. Perhaps this might be the most gritty list of the go-around for this series. You can expect to see all your favorite rocks today, from kaiju to fossils and everything in between. Let's just rock and roll right into the list and figure out the best. Before we begin though, head on over to Mystic Reads where we have another part of the Yaju's Sanin. Naruto and the gang head off on a pretty important mission. I wonder if they will run into any kind of enemies. Also, over on Mystic Umbreon Shorts, if we can hit 5k subscribers, I have a special top 5 series that I will be releasing specifically over there. So if that hypes you up, go ahead and drop a sub. Links will be in the description below and in the iCard above. We're gonna lead off today with one of several fossils. It's Kabutops. I know somewhere there's a contingent of people who are smiling knowing I'm talking about this dome today. Gee, I wonder who. So Kabutops sees its best usage as a rapid spinning physical option on a rain team. It's got Swift Swim, and when you combine that with the speed boost from Rapid Spin, it'll be zooming all over the field. Its moves like Liquidation and Stone Edge are of course great, and there's a nice recovery move in Leech Life for Kabutops to heal with. When you pair those with Rapid Spin, you've got some good looks going on, and there are more moves you could cycle in too. There really aren't any fantastic viable physical sweepers in the Rain Team kingdom, and Kabutops is definitely one of them. Congrats on opening the list today, Kabutops. Hey, look at this. What better Pokemon to follow Kabutops with than its fossil brother, Amistar? Amistar is another Swift Swim user, so it's a nice one to pull out on your Rain Team as well. There's many different ways you can take Amistar, either as a Shell Smash user, which is a big bonus for Amistar that it has over Kabutops, or as a hazard setter with the different spikes and stealth rocks. The important thing though for most is letting the rain get going and boosting the attack stats and speed. When Amistar is all built up and ready to go, you'll have Surf, Ice Beam, even Meteor Beam if you feel like running a Power Herb. It's a pretty basic set of circumstances that makes Amistar a great rock type. Setup and speed up. So another shout out to these two Gen 1 fossils opening the list. I wonder if their pal will show up later for the trifecta. Alright, to the surprise of probably none of you, we have another fossil here on our rock type list. This one being Tyrantrum. It's funny, considering Tyrantrum was at one point a part of the worst dragon Pokemon. But in the case of the rock typing, it's definitely one of the best. So whether you're deciding to set up with Dragon Dance and see what's possible, or you're holding a band and just smashing with whatever hits hardest right off the bat. Speaking of smashing, Head Smash is probably the best Tyrantrum has access to and works well alongside the Rock Head ability, which gives it access to no recoil. You love to hear that. Nobody likes recoil. And for a base 121 attack Pokemon, to be able to use a stab base 150 power move with no recoil to worry about, well, that's something to fear on the battlefield. There is drawbacks of course, since really Tyrantrum with that move is used best as a breaker of walls, and its special defense and speed leave a ton to be desired. However, in the confines of your rock type conversation, it's definitely up there as one of the best. The next Pokemon will break our streak of fossils. For now. We've got coming up here Barrageal. As you'll start to see with the majority of this list, these dual typings are only being represented on the rock side of things. And I feel that is more an indictment of the rock typing as opposed to anything else. Barrageal isn't great, but it does do one thing really well that will make it worth using. Shell Smash. Its defenses aren't great, and its attack stat is only at base 105 to begin with. Which is good, but not game-breaking. It definitely ain't fast either. However, with the Shell Smash popped off combined with Tough Claws, you'll use Liquidation, and the opposing Pokemon will literally get crushed. Let this thing hold the Choice Band or Scarf if you're not as inclined to set up, and it might just be able to do just as well. Barrageal isn't super amazing, and that's definitely just a recurring theme with these first 5 Pokemon, but don't hold that against them all too much. We close out the first half of our list with our first Pokemon that actually relies on a Sandstorm, Giggleth. This 5th Gen Mon creates a Sandstorm thanks to its Sandstream ability. Well, new relative to the 7th generation. And using that sand, it gets a special defense boost, meaning it can excel all on its own whether a Sandstorm team is in place or not. Its 130 base defense is already extremely good, but boosting an 80 special defense? This thing might just be able to take any hit under some circumstances. Its 135 attack is nice too when it uses moves like Stone Edge and Earthquake. And of course it can get you some Stealth Rocks going if you want that too. You can take hits, you can hit back, and you can facilitate a Sandstorm team incredibly well with Giggleth. It may have ended up just outside of the top 5 in a way due to only being a rock type, but it's still a highlight of the rock typing nonetheless. We'll kick in our top 5 with our final fossil Pokemon of the video, which is going to be that final piece of the Kanto trifecta, Aerodactyl. This big guy, in a world without a Mega, is all about the utility it offers. It's obviously super fast with 130 base speed, making it a nice Pokemon to lead off with utility moves like Taunt and Stealth Rocks. And you want to facilitate your team's speed? Pull out Old Reliable with Tailwind and you've got boosted speed for a few turns. Don't worry though, being a utility Pokemon isn't the only thing that Aerodactyl does. It also turns to Stone Edge and Earthquake and has some reliable recovery with Roost. It does a nice job with dual Wing Beat clipping into the health of other leads, as well for very reliable damage. Need I mention Defog too to remove hazards? Aerodactyl is just a great utility lead, and that alone earned it the distinction of opening up the top 5 today. The following Pokemon on the list is one of 3, and it's Lycanroc. We're talking about the Dusk form here, which shouldn't be surprising to our competitive players here. It's yet another great lead for any team, but it also has another side, being a life orb holding self-destructor. I don't mean actual self-destruct, of course, but this thing will just throw itself at the opponent until it passes out if you choose to do that, and it'll work. Its move pool includes a Cell Rock, which is of course wonderful priority. And even when it has to turn to moves like Stone Edge or Close Combat, it's of course going to crush an opponent. I mean, the speed is 110 and attack is 117 on this thing. It isn't a slouch on the battlefield. I don't want to forget to mention it has Tough Claws too, which was an ability I mentioned earlier as being super good. The next 3 Pokemon are pretty good if they're able to outdo Lycanroc, I'll tell you that much. Opening up our top 3 will be Rhyperior, and its presence here is obvious and simple to explain, so I'll keep this short. Its physical stats are through the roof, so it can take hits and dish them out with such stunning ease. If it's under the effects of Trick Room, it easily becomes one of the scariest Pokemon on the field, allowing it to set up Swords Dance and then use Earthquake and Stone Edge to just force its way through the opposing team. It can even pay off to use this thing as a rock setter and a wall that just uses Toxic. It's just the consummate rock type Pokemon, honestly. And while the next 2 do some seriously massive stuff on the field as well, Rhyperior can't be understated as a great rock type. The penultimate spot on our list today is being preoccupied by Colossal, in a pretty surprising turn of events. It really was a list of Pokemon that could truly only get their spot in the light thanks to the rock typing up to this point. And Colossal is no different. When you go ahead and G-Max this big boy, you've got yourself a great competitive Pokemon, no doubt about it. When you use Gmax Volcalith, you're able to do chip damage for 4 turns to all non-rock type Pokemon. So that's a great gain for Colossal on the battlefield. Then, when you rock out with Steam Engine, it could be very easy to get your speed maxed out on this monster furnace. I mean, target it with the fire type move in doubles or VGC, and you're doing it a big favor and possibly sealing your opponent's fate. This guy might not have been able to break through a massively successful fire typing, but it's right on the cusp of being the best rock type with its pretty great strats and solid defenses. The Pokemon standing atop our list today is Tyranitar, which shouldn't be all that shocking. When you throw this thing in the singles, it becomes a top tier sand setter with the option to throw one of many items on it like a band, a berry, or even an assault vest. Anyway, it's a bulky mon with a pretty decent set of defensive typings, and then 100 plus in both of its defense stats. As an attacker, it has base 134 attack too, but all of that can be improved with Dragon Dance. It can even take its turn as a great lead if you pair setting up with using Stealth Rocks. Its potential attacks include Stone Edge, Crunch, and Earthquake. Can you really ask for more? There aren't many Pokemon that can serve as a lead, a bulky wall, or just a setup machine quite as well as our number 1 pick today. Talk about versatility. That's it. We rocked and rolled and made it to the end of the video, showcasing a lot of Pokemon that haven't gotten any spotlight so far in this series. The next video we do, we're going to complement this one by doing the ground typing, which I'm sure will be filled with another bunch of great Pokemon. With that, I'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching. Hey, it's the outro. Isn't that exciting? Thank you for enjoying another Mystic Umbreon video. We're getting ready to enter the fall, and the final stretch of hype for Scarlet and Violet is here. The excitement for Pokemon's 9th generation is at its peak, and I couldn't be more excited. We've still got plenty to cover before then though, so keep yourselves locked in. If you're interested in more Mystic content, check out my TikTok and Mystic Umbreon Shorts channel. If we get the 10k followers on TikTok, and we're super close, I'll be doing a viewer's choice video. Also, if you're into fanfictions and what ifs, check out Mystic Reads. I offer a ton of creative spoken word content on there, so come and join me. That's all for now. Make sure you subscribe for more fantastic content, and I'll see you next time.